Hey everybody, welcome to this new video of Solaris Ray playing Utopia, Diplomacy or Intrigue in Distant World Universe. In the previous episode, we were beginning to deal with the consequences of a war declaration that happened between multiple factions in the actual universe. And we have been caught in those declarations of war. And I did the mistake to declare war to one of the people that my allies were at war with. And that brought me a lot of strife, destroyed my reputation because we are notorious. But yeah, since we are in the utopian government, we have a lot more wariness than we are supposed to have normally, and that is really penalizing us. And on top of that, we have the people that I declared war to, which are the Securans that dislike us quite a bit, and they took one of our colonies, which tend to be kind of annoying, right? I think that's the colony that they stole from us. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people on the planet. And yeah, that sucks. That sucks. It sucks quite a bit, actually. Anyway, so in this episode, we're going to see what we're going to do. Are we gonna try to recuperate the planet, or are we gonna try to let it slide and end the war somehow? And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's have a look a little bit about our situation. So we have $1 million in the bank. We have a fair amount of income from... Oops. We have a fair amount of income from our spaceports, from the resorts, and foreign train bonus. So that's pretty good. Yeah, we also have some troops. We have people that are trying to construct pirate bases on our colonies, so we're gonna have to deal with that. We are taxing at 34% our main planet. So we still have room. We have we have 2 wonders. So we could construct a resort base there, but this is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what is happening here, right? Now, if I recall, in my previous episodes, I was beginning to construct some warships. And if I'm not mistaken, those warships have troops capacity. That is correct. And they can carry the equivalent of 5 troops. So let's have a look at our planets and see how many troops we have. So this is troops and characters, so we don't have a lot here. We have a few here. None here. A little bit here. Okay, so this is very, very interesting to me. We have a little bit of troops, but we don't have many. So we're gonna have to think about something here. We are not necessarily a war race, right? And if we look at the objective, we are at 66%, and the Ritokan guild is at 80%. And for us to catch up with them, we need to improve our relations. We lost a lot of treaties because of our reputation. Now, that being said, this planet Securan, right, has a lot of troops. Like a lot, right? I don't have anywhere enough to compensate against that. But I'm not gonna let the Tikans take all our planets. Okay, so some of our ships have been damaged quite significantly. So let's see. Okay. How did this... This is a destroyer. Okay. Okay. That being said, I think there is another design. It's not part of the Protectors. The Protectors are way more powerful. Okay. We also have another issue is like, okay, so if we want to take back Tika, we're going to need to have a lot of troops. Now, if we look at our weapons, we are currently working on improved logistics, which reduce the maintenance cost of our troops by quite a bit. I think we're almost at the maximum. How much would it be to crash course it? So we could crash course it. Okay. This is very interesting. So we have the possibility, in my opinion, we have the possibility to defend ourselves. We also have the cash. Now, here's the issue, guys. And it's a pretty big issue, so I need to think this through. What I would like is to take those 3 planets, because I'm at war with the Tikans, and those planets all belong to the Tikans, and yeah, they're pretty good planets to have. All right, so this planet is barely defended, so I could take troops and load my troops on the planet and conquer that planet pretty easily, actually. This planet doesn't have any troops either, so I could conquer that planet. But after, the question is those ships. So if I look at those ships, the Tikans have 1,290 shields, 585 firepower in a range of 1,200. So that is kind of, I think it's missiles. If I look at the Protectors and I compare with the Protectors, well, funny enough, the Protectors doesn't have any weapons. Their weapons is the bombers and the fighters. Very interesting. I'll just see the design. Yeah, it's only defense. But there's a fair amount of fighters. But what is the proportion of fighters? Let's see. That's a fighter. Okay. That's a fighter. It's hard to see. That's a bomber. Okay, that's a bomber. And that's an interceptor. Okay. I was trying to see if I could control the proportion of bombers against fighters, and I think there is a way to do that. Yeah, remind me later. Thank you. So it's pretty risky, the move that I'm about to do. It's pretty risky. Okay, so I sent the ships to go there. I think that is not a good idea. The planet that has the most troops capabilities, I think that would be the homeworld potentially, because we have the largest population. Okay, let's see at the characters. Let's see the characters that are on the main planet. Okay, so there is ambassadors. It would be very good to have a troop general. Okay, so let's see at the characters. The roles. Okay. Troop recovery rate, troop recruitment rate, ground attack, and troop recruitment rate. Okay, so I don't have generals that will improve our recruitment, unfortunately. Not at this moment. Ground attack strength. So this troop general would be good in order to increase the siege strength. And that is to recuperate from damage. 42% is pretty good. But okay. Okay, so I think what I want is to bring this troop general to Utopia Prime. And I think I'm gonna go recuperate the planet that they stole from us, this one, and I will recuperate those two planets at the same time. But for that, I'm gonna need to make sure that I can destroy this fleet. So multiple things are gonna need to happen. The first thing, I think I want to have 20 ships. Now, I may modify the design of what I want to construct here. So let's have a look at the state ships. So we have destroyers. And what is the actual design of the protectors? They are carriers. Okay. So let's see the carriers then. Okay. So there's going to be carriers, but I don't want to have just carriers. Yeah. I fear that the carriers having troops is a waste of space. I don't necessarily want my carriers to have troops. So I'm gonna take this off. And what I would like instead is having more fighters. I can't. Okay, so what is the size at which we are right now? Okay, so we still have some space. So I could add some weaponry, but I think that would be a mistake. Energy collectors could be good because the carriers are not supposed to be in battle. They send their fighters and they stay far away. So they could be sending their fighters and go close to the star so they don't consume fuel. That could be a good thing. Or we can increase the amount of shields that they have. I think I would like to increase the shields. So that would be 3,480 shields. And a little bit of armor. Okay, so let's take off maybe a little bit of shield, but increase the armor. There you go. So those ships are going to be tanky. And that's what I want. So the first thing here, I'm going to request that the protectors are being retrofitted to the latest design. And what we gonna do, I think, is that we're gonna create our heavy cruisers. Or maybe our light cruisers. Because right now we are using the destroyers and the carriers. But I think I want to use the light cruisers. And the purpose of the light cruisers is to support the carriers. Yeah. So I want the light cruisers to be a barrage to protect the carriers. So the carriers can deploy the fighters and the bombers. And the light cruisers are going to be there for long-range weapons. They're not going to have carriers or anything. They're not going to carry fighters. But they're going to have missiles, autocannons, a fair amount of mobility, a fair amount of shield and armor, ECMs and all that stuff. Now, what I was thinking is there's troop transport as well. Okay. So it's always an interesting question when we are doing those kinds of things to think. Because here, even if the light cruiser is not a troop transport, they recommend here to add a troop module, right? But I think I want to have a troop transport ship solely dedicated for that, right? Like the troop transport ship is going to have a lot of troops that it can carry, a lot of shield, a lot of armor, autocannons, but no weaponry. The purpose is just to carry troops and to regenerate troops as well. The light cruiser would be there to support the carriers. So all that it's kind of okay. The range is okay. So I want them to have missiles in terms of weaponry. I also want them to have defense against missiles themselves, and torpedoes. That's going to increase their firepower. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So they're going to have a fair amount of firepower, but that's still not enough. Okay. So we exceeded the maximum capacity. The maximum is 700 at the moment. Okay, so we're going to take 5 off of the Epsilon, and we're going to take 5 off of those. Okay, so there's absolutely no shield, so that's a no-go. Okay, so maybe there's way too many weapons. Way too many weapons. I think I will reduce the Epsilon. Keep the missiles. Yep. Increase the shields by quite a bit because they're supposed to be able to take a fair amount of damage. I don't have an hyperdrive. We don't have life support of our quarters and light support, huh? Life support. Okay. No troop modules. This is not what this ship is for. The acceleration rate and the turn rate. Okay, so this is not necessarily super great. We're gonna also add the ECM, countermeasure, damage control. Targeting system, already have it. Okay, fair enough. Do we have a proximity array? We do. Okay. Countermeasure could be better. Need to improve that, but it's still worth to have it regardless. Damage reduction, repair component. There's no repair? Oh yeah, repair damage control. Okay. Anyway. I'm a little bit over, so what I gotta do is I gotta take a little bit of armor off. Hold on. Shield, armor. So I'm gonna take 2 off. Turn rate, acceleration. We are not super fast though, that's the problem. So I could increase the engines. I'm not necessarily sure. Let's take 5 off. It's not gonna free a lot of space. Yeah, the energy output excess is not gonna be enough as well. There's enough to power the ship for movement, but not enough. Not enough for weapons. Okay, so we're gonna need to have an extra reactor. It's gonna be enough for the weapons, but then they will not have enough for the speed, so we're gonna need another one. So then it can sprint and shoot and power the shields, which is okay. 3.69 sectors is not too bad. The range is not the best, but it's not too bad. I think I'm gonna have to take off 5 more missiles to recuperate some space, which is okay. And I want to have a little bit more storage, a little bit more range. 4 sectors, which is a little bit better. I may gonna take another armor off to add an extra fuel cell, and that is good. We'll have a fairly good range. It's not gonna be super fast, but what we need to remember is that the light cruiser are there to protect the carriers, and if I look at the carriers, their speed is 13, so the light cruisers would be going at the same, a little bit faster than the carriers, so that is absolutely perfect. Now, the other thing that we're gonna need to do is to have troop transport, and we don't have any, so we're gonna add a new one, and the role is gonna be troop transport. So we're gonna put what we need. Engines, troop modules, so that's troop. Habitations. and a name. The names are the hardest. Troop transport. I'm gonna call it Beyond. Why not? MK1. Alright. Now, let's put an hyperdrive, of course. We're gonna have to put shields and all that stuff. So, shield and armor, of course. Now, what we're gonna need is we're not gonna need targeting system because this is not gonna have any weapons. It's gonna have auto cannons though, but I'm not sure if that's gonna use the targeting system. I still gotta put it just in case if that is if the targeting system is providing a bonus to the auto defense. We're gonna want to have countermeasures, damage control. And yeah, damage control. Okay. Now we want to have a medical bay for the troops, which is going to be pretty important. Okay. And we only output 90, so we don't have enough energy, so we're going to need to put at least 2 reactors. Okay, and that is the good thing. So we may even need less reactors, but for now we're gonna leave 3 because we're gonna need to first we're gonna need to put a lot more troop transport because this ship is all about troop transportation. So gonna put 10, so that means that they can carry quite a few, maybe even more. But what I also want to make sure is that it has enough armor and enough shields to protect the troops. We don't want the troops to die, right? The next thing as well, it's going to be very important, is the engines, because we want the troop transport to go in and out pretty quickly. So we want to have a fair amount of turn rate, and we want to have a fair amount of speed. Alright. Habitation. Now, 23 sprint, it's, you know, okay. But yeah, it means that it can come quick towards the planet to go out fairly quick as well. We're also going to need to increase the storage capacity. Right, so that is the minimum. And I think that's pretty much it. We don't necessarily want to have we don't want weapons. We don't want this thing to shoot at stuff. We just want that thing to drop troops, or to recuperate troops and drop troops, and that's pretty much it. So if I can get away with a few more of the troop transport, 15. The engine went down a little bit, so I'm gonna try to increase the thrusters a little bit, and the engines is there, and we just put 1 of each, and I think that's it. We don't need to be at 700 because it's gonna be costly, right? All those things are cost credits to maintain, so we need to be careful about that, or mindful of that. Now, this is a time where we're gonna be spending a fair amount of credits. All right, but I think I'm gonna keep that for the next episode. In this episode, we created the design to sustain the war, and what what we're gonna do is that in the next episode is literally create the carriers, retrofit the old carriers, create the new carriers, create the light cruisers, create the troop transports. And what I also would like, and I think I would do it now, is to create on Utopia Prime a facility that will enable us to have striking forces, because we don't want dirt, right? We want actually troops that can go on a planet and be effective at taking it. All right, so that's what we're gonna do on the next episode. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. That will really help the channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions that I could do in this particular instance, please leave it in the comment section below, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you guys. Bye.